baker because today's theme is the most sensual theme of the week. It is day 4 of week 3 of my 21-day program, and today is about the sense of touch. After the taste, the hearing, and the sight. Today is about comfort and sensuality. The touch, for me, I like to think about it as the skin of your home. What it wears, it's like the sheets, the fabrics, the textures, also the building materials, all kind of building materials that have been incorporated into your home. And it is something that we rarely think about, a little bit like the hearing, when we think about the identity of our homes and when we try to harmonize our space. However, the touch is a very important sense as all the others, but think about it. It is not only what you, for example, sit on, the fabrics that you decide to upholster your chairs, for example, with, or your sofa, and which is really influenced by the region that you are in. Usually, if you are in a cold region, you might want to use wool or velvet, but if you are in a hot country, maybe you want to use linen or some kind of leather. It is also, so what you sit on, it is also what you sleep in. And I'm a freak, as you know, and I pay a lot of importance on the quality of my sheets and the softness and the fact that they are ironed, because creased sheets are the worst thing, I think, in life. When I go to bed, it can really totally ruin my life if the sheets, one, smell badly, and two, the texture of the sheets is not nice. So I like to buy the sheets in antique markets. Usually they're not expensive, the old linen sheets, these huge linen sheets that they used to have in the French houses a long time ago. They keep you warm in the winter and they keep you cool in the summer, and it's just so lovely to have that feeling against your skin. So what you sit on, what you sleep in, also what you walk on. So here, if you live in Europe, if you live in France, it is, most of us, we live in houses that were already built when we walked in. So either you have some parquet on the floor, or you have some tiles or some marble or whatever, but usually you didn't choose what is on the floor and what is in contact with your feet, with the sole of your feet. But it makes a huge difference. And personally, I love carpets and rugs, called moquette in French. And I really cherish them. I love them. And I told you I have slight OCD, and I always get a heart attack when I see my guests coming to my house and walking on my beautiful carpets without removing their shoes. But myself, I love to walk barefoot on the floor and having the contact of the sole of my feet with the parquet and then with the carpet. It is simple details, but when you start paying attention to these details on a daily basis, you just feel good. And the chances are, if you are currently living in Paris, for example, and you have this old chevron parquet or Versailles parquet, maybe you are very lucky to live in an old house which has a Versailles parquet, you probably didn't even notice it. How lucky you are. But just pay attention to that. There is a sound, first of all, when you walk on the parquet, but also the feeling and the fact that you have this natural old wood that has all this history and that you are in contact with. There is so much sensuality. And the last element in the touch, it is what is on your walls. Okay, OCD again. I love to feel my walls. And one of the most beautiful things I did in the past year in a project in Paris, in a residential project, was in the kitchen, in the countertop. my client chose a beautiful gray marble that has been prepared. I don't know how they did this, but they prepared the marble so it was slightly irregular, and the texture of the marble was similar to leather. It was unbelievable. A stone with so much sensuality and so much softness. This was amazing. And I always like to feel what is on the walls. So for example, in this house where I'm staying right now, they have covered all the walls with this kind of paper, which is a bit like crisscross when you look at it from very closely, which is supposed to prevent the cracks from the wall. I hate this paper. I hate the way it looks, and I also hate the way it feels under my hands. So the trick that I've done is in my bedroom, I've repainted it in red, so it looks totally different. It looks like it's you don't see this paper, and you don't feel this. It's a bit rough. You don't feel it anymore. But again, I mean, the way that your walls feel and the materials that are on the walls, the way that they feel is very nice to be able to feel it. But then because I have OCD, I'm always freaking out that there will be finger marks on the paintings or fingerprints, and the worst of all being these systems where you can close the doors, these push-pull systems where you can close your cabinet doors and your kitchen doors. Particularly IKEA has a lot of them, by just pushing the doors, and then your doors are constantly with fingerprints on them. In any ways, have you noticed what you sit on, what you sleep in, what you walk on, and what your walls are covered with in your house? Is it pleasant? Is it unpleasant? Once again, the same exercise as every other day of the week. Try to get a feeling and to see how it makes you feel. Does it make you feel good or not good? Sometimes these materials that we inherited and that are in our houses, we have not chosen them themselves, and they are not nice. My advice is that instead of obsessing about them, it can be really easy, by making the rest of the environment nice, to simply ignore them. I'll give you a quick example, but when I was living in the Middle East, I had this house that was built 15 years before, and the tiles in my bathroom were horrible. Not only the color was the most horrible beige, like with a greeny shade, like the worst shade you can have when you want to look good in the morning, but also the texture, it was horrible. So I found that when I just put the nice accessories, some nice towels, very thick white towels in Egyptian cotton, and so I had them I had also these bath mats on the floor. So I had a nice sensory experience in my bathroom. Then I had some mirrored cabinets, and I used very nice wicker baskets for the laundry. So the whole setup around that, and a beautiful candle, for when I wanted to dim the lights in my bath. The whole setup around this material that was a very cold and unpleasant material to touch, it just made the whole experience nice, because you would forget about this material. So there is always a solution, and this is what I wanted to say today. So for today, try to think about what defines your house, the touch of your house. Is it warm or cold materials? Is it sensual? Is it fragile? Is it steady and solid? Is it masculine? Is it feminine? Write these things down, what you like, what you don't like. And as usual, have fun, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.